Hi. Oh, it is a glorious, glorious summer day in Vermont. It is a little warm, but we appreciate this in Vermont because we know that January and February are not far off and we'll be freezing then. So I wanted to update everyone on my channel and on our website, Kumari of the Woods Update. Some of you have been following my personal page and you've seen some of the progress. This is the first cottage site that we're developing, but I thought I would back up a little bit and tell you more about the inspiration and the intention behind Kumari of the Woods. So this is a gorgeous place in Vermont, in Stratford, Vermont, which is in this region of the state near the New Hampshire border. It's called the Upper Valley of Vermont. And I landed here about almost 10 years ago, actually. And I rented the house on this property with my children. And it has a great school system. It's also near Dartmouth Hospital and Dartmouth College, and lots of wonderful things happening in this area. And I really came to love this community and also the isolation of this land. It's almost 52 acres and it's very remote. The property at that time, until very, very recently, was completely off-grid with solar. And so as time went on, I had the opportunity to purchase the property. And so I bought it with my older son, Ben, that you've heard me talk about because he's my partner in Kumari of the Woods. And one of the things that Ben and I thought about doing right away was, envisioning what it would be like to bring other people to the land. Every time that we walked the land or even just sat in the forest, it just felt so healing and just a beautiful part of our lives in terms of silence, silence in the forest, as some of you might already identify with. We've had Wiccans come here and walk the land with us and give us readings of the land. And I believe the energy is just so powerful and positive here. And so as we purchased the property, we started developing the concept for Kumari of the Woods. And so, as some of you may know too, the concept it started as a retreat for artists and those in the healing arts professions. So like those who are yogis, yoga instructors, and those who work with individuals in healing professions and helping professions. And it's not like we've let go of that. We still hold on to that space and that intention. But as things evolved, and sadly, as the world faced COVID and that huge shutdown and isolation for so many people, we began to realize that this place had an extraordinary ability to allow people to isolate, stay safe, and also be within a community. And so that began our process, which honestly, it all did start like around the beginning of COVID, so around 2 years ago. And, we needed to find lenders and funders that aligned with our mission and the way that we wanted to work with this land and what we wanted to create here. And that was really hard, I will tell you. For like those 2 years, I guess, even longer, I was searching and searching and met some really interesting people along the way. Also met some scammers and crazy people too. But that's, what the world's like. And we have to kind of put on those filters at times and distinguish between those who are safe, of course. And so somewhere around February was when I was introduced to Jason, a loan officer at the Vermont State Employees Credit Union. And things just began to move along in the right direction. Okay. I'll say the big thing that Jason helped me with was he pointed me in the direction of the Vermont Small Business Development Corps. And this is an extraordinary agency that is in the state of Vermont, and every county has a particular advisor. And if they like your business plan and what you're all about as a startup, they'll work with you. It's all free. We had an incredible advisor. His name is Ross Hart, and he was in our county. And so he took our business plan, which was huge at that time. It was like 30, 35 pages long. And he helped me streamline it, okay, so that we could just focus on exactly what we wanted to do, and to also chunk this project into basically 3 phases. So the first phase is about building these 2 cottage sites. So there'll be 3 cottages, about 500, 600 square feet, not that big, that are all season. So they'll have lots of heat, believe me, because that's what my son Ben does, heating and plumbing. So they'll have great heat. It's going to have radiant floor heat, and a fully equipped kitchen, have a lovely bathroom, and it's all going to be pointed out towards the mountains. The big windows will be out towards the mountains, and with a deck around, probably an outdoor shower. So those 3 sites are all sitting on this main driveway, which branches off of our driveway. It's all a part of our property. And actually, what I'm going to do is just turn my camera and I'll show you out that way. You can see the drive, and you can see that road right out there, which Cody Campbell, excavator extraordinaire, he put that in last summer for us. So we really began to just use our own money, got Cody here, developed a lot of the infrastructure, created the site, began to prepare the sites, not like he has now, and just got a start on it, which is really great, because when you're looking for a partner, like a lending partner or another investor, you want to show progress, and you want to show how you have put some of your own skin in the game, right? Money, time, energy, all of that. So that's what we started to do last summer. And so with the Vermont State Employees Credit Union and the help of this Vermont Small Business Development Corps, we were able to then put together a business plan that the credit union really loved. And they signed on. I think we got their commitment letter around the 12th of April. And we were so excited because they also believed at that time that VEDA, the Vermont Economic Development Authority, which supports startups and small businesses in Vermont, would also help us as a lender. Now, honestly, you just got to be so patient, which I'm not that patient. I have to work on patience every day. But I just found it was hard to wait, to get the commitment letter from VEDA, which we just got on, I think it was Wednesday this past week, which would have been like the 21st of June. So like right around the solstice, like that's great karma, right? That would happen. So now things are just really moving in the right direction. We had a commercial appraiser come out about 2.5 weeks ago, and his report should be coming in this next week. And so what he's doing is he's looking at our land and our house, our current house that we live in, and appraising the value as it is right now, but then also looking at our plans for building and what we're putting together. I'm going to say more about that in a second. And appraising what it's going to be worth after the construction, after everything's done. So we're looking forward to that. And then once we have that, you know, there's lots of little loose ends to tie up with the credit union and with Vita, but we should have a closing around the end of July. And so that amount of money will get us through this phase one. So again, phase one, there's two sites, this site and the one over there, which I'll show you this week. It doesn't have the hard pack down yet, but it's getting there. It's almost done. Those are the two that will be developed, well, this summer, of course, and into fall. And of course, I'm very impatient. You know, I know that our contractor is super busy, and we're just, you know, just trying to work with his time frame too. But probably August is going to be very busy. The fall will be busy. And the opening of these two cottages, I can't really say exactly when it'll be. Could be next spring. I mean, we hope to get things finished on the interior. It'll all be dried in by the time any kind of nasty weather comes in Vermont. And we can just keep working on the finishing the cottages inside. So I'll walk around here for a moment. I'll just show you, like right here. Well, right over here would be the door coming in, and there'll be a little entry with ceramic tile, you know, where people can put their boots and their coats. And then they walk in, and this is the living space in the front. And again, the big windows will face the mountains. And then walking back to that corner will be the kitchen. And right in front of that, over here is a bedroom area. And beyond that, farther out, is a really spacious bathroom with it'll have a clawfoot tub, it'll have a separate shower. It'll just be really lovely, because I think if you're looking to restore your energy and your creativity and you want to unwind, you got to have a good soak in a bathtub. I love that. It'll probably also have like an outdoor shower too for summertime people who visit. Okay, so that phase one are these two cottages. The third one will probably be next summer in like phase two, which I'll say something about. And that's farther beyond the trees. It'll be the first cottage that you come to on this driveway out here. The other thing that we did, we started to do, gosh, I guess it was around fall, is that we were able, with so many people's donations, thank you so much, we were able to get electricity to the property. So you remember I said the house has always been solar powered off grid. So we were able to get electricity here, which helps, of course, with the building process. It'll also just, it helped us in so many ways. I mean, any commercial lender, any traditional lender really needed to see power brought to the property. You know, I mean, solar is great. And of course, we'll still have that too, but they needed to make sure we were tied to that grid too. So all of that is happening. They're actually going to put some more poles up probably in July, and then we'll be able to access it here to the cottage sites. The other piece of phase one is what we've been struggling a little bit with what to call it, but our wonderful friends, which some of you may see comments and you may see me say things about a retreat that's in southern Sweden called Stetson's. I highly, highly recommend you check them out. I know Sweden is really far from Vermont, but we feel so, I guess I want to say, spiritually aligned with Fleming and Meta, who started that retreat. And I think they might be in like their 5th or 6th year already. So what they've created are these, is a summer fall kind of retreat where people stay in these little A-frame cottages or cabins. They call them cabins. Ours are going to be very similar. And so those structures will be much, much smaller, mostly for the comfort of individuals who want to come and have definitely a notch above camping. but also they will not have heat. So they're just summer and fall. And we're calling them, I'm pretty sure we're calling them shelters now. So we've gone around and around about what to call them, but we're going to call them summer fall shelters. And so the long range plan and vision for those is that we can create in the forest 8 of those little shelters. Now, those are not attached to the land. They're going to sit on hard pack, like a 16 by 16 hard pack square. And they will have a little deck to them. They will have big windows in the front, probably looking on some beautiful view. It could be tucked away in the forest, so they could be nestled, so their view is of trees, which would be so beautiful too. And we're looking into composting toilets, like in each one, just for, again, sort of comfort level of people who come and stay. But then ultimately, what we hope to do, and what I think Fleming and Meta does, is that they have outdoor showers. They have a beautiful outdoor kitchen, because food and feeding the people who come to their retreat is a very, very big part of their vision, and one that we also align with, but is probably going to be down the road for us. But do check them out. I'll put their website link at the end of this video, and you can check them out. And I'm hoping by next summer to get over to Sweden and actually stay there, because it looks really wonderful. Yeah, so this summer, as part of phase 1, we're hoping to construct 3 to 5 of those shelters, the tiny, tiny ones. And I'm happy to say the person who's working with us on building those is a local Stratford person who is just so wonderful. He's Earl Silloway, and he builds these like sheds all the time. He's actually about to deliver a big, big shed for my son at the house for his plumbing shop. My son has one already, and he's going to have another one that's like almost triple the size of it. And so, we're looking forward to that. That'll happen probably by Monday. And so Earl also has the plans for this tiny, tiny shelter, which is 10 by 12, and he's going to be building those for us. So we're excited about that. And because they're movable, they're not attached to the land. They're going to sit on skids. He's just going to deliver them when we have the sites prepared, those sites are being prepared by our other neighbor, Doug Clark, that we love. And he's done a great job, and he's been preparing. He has 3 of those sites ready for those small shelters to be delivered and set up on the land. The other piece of this, so, the intention, again, to have people come here to restore their energy, restore their creativity, if they are artists, or maybe, they could be professionals in other jobs, but they just want to write, they want to write poetry, or they want to write their first novel, or their autobiography, who knows. Maybe they're visual artists and they want to just soak in the beauty of this place for inspiration, and maybe do some painting out on the decks and all. Musicians, that want to compose music and be inspired by the forest. So as a part of that, it's really important to us that we develop the walking trails in these almost 52 acres. And so Doug Clark, again, has started to help us clear some of those walking trails. In wintertime and spring, the trails are really open and accessible, and you don't get lost. I mean, you can kind of follow your way, but we want this to be available even in the dog days of summer, right? When it's really hot and things get very overgrown, and the greenery flourishes in Vermont. That's what we love about the state, and we always have a little bit of a nice rainfall almost every day. So those trails are going to be very well kept for people to walk. Could be an early morning jog. It could be a meditation walk, which we highly encourage. there's a beautiful area that we're calling Meditation Hollow. It's right beyond the last cottage, and it gently just sinks in like a hollow. And we're putting stones down there where people can sit, maybe just sit in silence and have their meditation there. It's just a really beautiful, special spot. Um, yeah, and then the other big thing that I'll mention, which is probably phase two, and I know again I have to work on my patience for this, is we want to offer programs here and classes, like daily classes in yoga. So maybe an early morning yoga class, maybe a nighttime. I love candlelight yoga. If you've ever practiced in candlelight, it's so beautiful and soothing and relaxing. My best friend Maisie's over there. I'm looking at her. Hey, Maise, you want to come over and say hi to everybody on YouTube? She's exhausted. As many of you know, we have 2 lab puppies now, and they're adorable, and they sometimes make her very tired. So, come here, sweetie. She's coming over. Okay, so the programs that we want to offer are all around the arts, the healing arts. My son is really into sound therapy, so we might have offer a program in that. I know a lot of yoga professionals. I'm hoping some of them will come and offer maybe a Saturday program, like a workshop. Now, the intention for that, let me tell you, if you happen to be a guest here and you're renting a stay in one of these cottages, or in the summer or fall in the little shelter, those daily programs, those daily classes will be free to you. Okay, so you can take the yoga. I would like to see like an afternoon meditation time, and of course anyone staying here can participate. But our goal too is that the community surrounding us, Stratford, we're near Thetford, we're near Tunbridge and Chelsea, South Royalton, Sharon, Vermont, of course. All of these communities, like if individuals want to come for classes, it will cost them something, but I think it would just be delightful to have them visit. Now, where are those classes going to be held? I get asked this question a lot. So, not in this first phase. We don't have the funding yet. I might be starting a new GoFundMe, but we want to put up a 30-foot yoga yurt. It's a 30-foot yurt, okay, but for what we're calling the yoga yurt, which will have other kinds of programs. It'll have music programs. Some of you watching this, if you're in Vermont and you're in my area, you might know about Feast and Field on Thursday nights in Barnard. What an amazing experience that is, with music every Thursday night. I think it's through September. And so we're looking at even like year round. The yoga yurt will be heated. There'll be composting toilets. It'll be a wide open space for people to join in classes. And some of those, again, might be a music event. And we won't steal the Thursday night away from Feast and Field at all. We want to work with Feast and Field and Fable Farms, and their amazing hard cider is fantastic. But yeah, to just collaborate and, get the word out so that people know we're here and people can travel to us. The great thing about the Upper Valley of Vermont is that we're about 2 hours and maybe 2.5 hours from Logan Airport, big airport in Boston. And there's a bus line that goes right from Logan to Dartmouth or to Lebanon, New Hampshire, which is very close to us. There's also a small airport that people can fly into, like charter airlines into. It's in Lebanon, and it's also really close. We're off, there's Amtrak stations like White River Junction and even up in Randolph, so people want to come by train. And obviously cars, we'll have certain designated areas for parking. Each of the cottages will have their own parking space. We want things to be convenient, but we also don't want to destroy or I want to say not destroy, but we don't want to impose upon the landscape. Okay, so some of the shelters, the parking might be a little ways from the shelter and people will have to walk there, but I don't think it'll be anything that's too challenging if you're coming here for a stay. And, you know, we probably will have something like a 2-night minimum stay and probably not more than a month-long stay, which I know that a lot of the writers I know have asked me about this, like, could I stay for a month? You know, if you're working on a piece of writing and you just want to be in a very quiet place, then yes, we will have a pricing that you could stay for a month. We're not looking at you know, long-term leases because we do want people to be able to flow through and others can come and not tie things up too much. But we're just super excited about this. So once we do get the yoga yurt built, that's where classes and programming will take place. If we get everything open and rolling, like these shelters honestly should be in place in August at some point, and they might be able to start renting those. Um, I've talked to my son. I might be using our living room and a big sunroom for some classes. You know, we kind of hesitate with that because, of course, we've got the puppies and we've got things going on in our lives, which makes that a little difficult. But I'm confident that by next summer, the yoga yurt will get constructed and we can open it up and offer these amazing programs. So anyone who's an artist or a healing arts practitioner, a wellness practitioner, you know, we would love to have you contact us if you have a program in mind that you might want to offer, and we'll, you know, figure things out from there. But I just think that the experience of coming here, they'll like, we're open to, if people want to just come and just close themselves off from the world, I think this would be a perfect place for that. And if they come and they do want to interact and attend the programs, attend classes, maybe meet other people who are staying here, that's a lovely, would be a lovely thing too. So there's lots of positive intentions for this Kumari of the Woods. And I know as we move along with this, I think I'm really, really confident that this intention will grow and it's going to be contagious. And it's also going to probably take on some different forms as we move along. And that's perfectly fine. You know, this property, it rises up very high. And so most of the construction and what we're working on is at the middle and the lower part, just for access, you know, to get things built. But the hiking trails, we have 2 hiking trails that go up high. And we have thought, I mean, Ben has said many times, wouldn't like building a cottage up that way would be amazing, like a little stone cottage or something. So I think, you know, this is a creative venture. And as an artist myself, I have a new idea every day. And so I think it's important for us to stay open. And so any ideas that you have that you might want to share, just circling back to Stetson's again and their commitment to permaculture, growing their food, serving local food. They cook over an open fire meals, amazing meals it looks like at Stetson's. I mean, that's long term for us, but it's a possibility too that we could have a dinner here and have like an outdoor kitchen, but that might be more like phase 3. So I just wanted to take this time and share all this with you so you can understand where we're going with this. As things get built, like the next stage for this will be the concrete, the Alaskan slab will go in, my son will do the plumbing, and then it'll be ready. This one will be a timber frame. It's going to be really beautiful. John Tukowski is our contractor, our builder, carpenter, and he's working with Blaine Schultz, a timber frame person who is milling those timbers right now as I talk. And so it's going to be really lovely. And That cottage will be more of like a stick-built one, but it's going to be very cozy and charming and, yeah, open and ready for you to come and visit, which I hope you do. And ask me any questions at all. And just thank you so much for following my channel and following this entire project. Thank you to those of you that I work with. I'm a life coach and I love what I do. I work with a lot of women over 50, but I have other clients too. And it gives me enormous joy. I really, really love the work I do. And I know that some of those women have already said they would like to rent space in the retreat, which would be perfect. And maybe I can even run an in-person program, I hope, at some point in that yoga yurt. And if you know of anyone who wants to donate, definitely have them contact us. You know, we're really just so grateful for the credit union and Vita's support. And I think, you know, they'll help guide us to the next phase too. But it's a journey, right? It's a journey. And I think what I have to teach myself with patience every day is that, you know, the journey is what's important. The people I've met, I just am so appreciative of all their knowledge and gifts that they've given me as I've grown tremendously in how to build a business, how to be an entrepreneur, how to start your own business. It starts, you know, with that seed, you know, that idea. And I just encourage anyone who's thinking of starting your own business, whatever it might be, like, don't give up. There's going to be so many doors that close. I mean, I would get so frustrated, but you just got to hang in there, because that idea can materialize, and it does take a lot of persistence and a lot of discipline and kind of a tough skin, I want to say, because you can get rejected, or you know, all of this, right? I mean, as artists, we know that too. Like, we write an amazing novel, we paint these beautiful paintings and can't find a place to show them, right? But it's just important to do the work, show up in your life with intention and with integrity to your work. And I just really believe when you can put that passion into it, it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. I look forward to many of you coming here to Kumari of the Woods for a stay, for a visit. If anybody wants to visit as we're building, just let me know. I'd love to give you a tour. We'll take a walk on the land. Yes, and I just want to also shout out to my neighbors. I don't know if any of the people of Stratford watch my videos, but I feel so honored to be a part of this community. I'm kind of a quiet participant in the community, but I think more people will get to know me and where we are, of course, as things move along. Okay, that's it. Have a beautiful end of June week. Can't believe it's the end of June already. And be so good to yourself. You know, that's the start of a very positive, fulfilling life. Self-care. Be good to yourself. Thank you.